Now, welcome to a rewatch re-review of Andor Season 1, Episode 6, The Eye. And we are once again passing it over to Naboo to kick things off.
I think I say this every review, but again, I find this episode fantastic.
Best one so far, yeah. But not the best one of the series.
Best one so far.
At this point, it is the best.
All right, it starts out, we see Nemec is nervous, and his nervousness kept him awake all night, and he's trying to think of how does a mercenary fit into the plans of the rebellion and the...
They're a weapon to be used.
That's what because he needs to justify it.
He needs to come to terms with that.
Mm-hmm. And that's how he chose to do it.
Yes. And he was very nervous, but he'll sleep after the mission, won't he?
All right, so then they move on to the Imperials, and I find this to be such an incredibly interesting conversation because it really does encompass how the Empire sees and treats people.
That's what's so good about the show. Or one of the things. It shows you how the Empire actually thinks about the people that they control.
Well, they talk about how the Aldhani used to come down for this eye, the big event
in the sky.
That was sacred to them. And they kind of go over this systematic, horrible plan that they had, this systematic manipulation that they manipulated them literally into submission by just putting things along the path, options, gave them so many options they didn't know they were getting less than they ever had. It eventually changed the people of Aldhani, and instead of everyone coming to this big celebration, this big sacred festival, it's less and less every year, and this year there's 60, when there used to be like 1,500 or more. Yeah. So it's very sad to see what has happened to their people, what the Empire did to them over this time.
It's kind of funny because he says we gave them options of things they didn't even want.
Mm-hmm.
And when you stop and think about that, you ask yourself, how many times in life do you kind of get distracted by options and things that you don't want, or options of things you don't want?
Yeah.
You kind of hit home in a way.
Yeah.
Because you can understand, like, oh yeah, I could see how your advertising and other things in today's world makes you think you need these things, and you really don't. And you get distracted and you crave them and want them, and before you know it, the things you actually care about, you've
given
set
up.
aside. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, actually.
It's kind of sad, but it is the truth.
And that's why it works, yeah, because you can understand it.
We learn a little about Cinta. We learn that
Stormtroopers
killed her whole family, and Terramin was a stormtrooper. The way this entire episode is rife with tension and suspense, like this entire time you just build up. It's great.
You're always kind of sitting there waiting for something to go wrong, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know this isn't going to go smoothly because nothing ever goes smoothly in a television show.
Everything seems to be going smoothly.
You're on the proverbial pins and needles just waiting for something to go wrong. And what I like about it, not to jump ahead, is so often in Star Wars, it's like, oh, the Empire was just completely incompetent and we managed to get away or achieve our mission.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it's the opposite. Everything's going smoothly because they have a very smart plan. But the Empire is actually... or some of the members of the Empire here are like catching on to things and realizing things, and that is what foils the plan.
Right.
And then things go all kinds of south.
I really do love that the Aldhani chief guy, when they receive their goat pelt, throw it in the fire. They're like, yeah.
Did you try to make a goat sound there?
Meh.
I think that
was. Sorry. That's
if you know,
that's the Willow joke. Sorry.
But no, it is funny because they don't care. They're just doing it because. Mm-hmm. I don't even know why they're doing it. Maybe because they feel like if they don't, the Empire's going to get mad at them and not even allow them to come up here, or what.
They're just honoring some old tradition. They're a pact between them. Yeah. We do this exchange. You let us have our ceremony in peace. I guess we don't have a choice but to tolerate you being here.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting because they keep doing a contrast between here they are, here's our rebel group going about their plan, and then there's the Aldhani down there partying, singing.
Yep, all 60
and it just, I think it makes the tension even more because you've got such a contrast between here's a plan, rife with tension, here are the Aldhani, and you're like, they're just down there partying and being loud, and they're a little bit of the chaos element. It's crazy. I like that when they exit the elevator, when they're going down after they've tied all the people up and they left Cinta alone with the family.
With the family, yeah.
Well, I like that they get to the bottom of the elevator and Vel's like, Clem first. Remember, he's the expendable one.
Yeah.
Luthen told her he's expendable.
She doesn't want him to come back
Right, if someone's going to take a shot when this elevator door goes open, it's going to be Clem. And then you get the communication guy. There's the gentleman you were talking about. Yeah. He was the linchpin. He is the reason everything was discovered because he figured out their signal. Like all the communication's not working. It's my job for communication to work.
Yep.
So he kind of fiddles around with it and he starts catching their signal. And that's when he puts it all together, and he's like, okay, something's wrong. We got to go down there. He's the one that makes sure that Kenzie is coming.
Yes. Which is so cool when they're in the TIE. I love that with the TIE fighters and the...
it feels... During the eye, it's wow.
It's so cool because it's like, treats it very seriously. We all sometimes don't see like TIE fighters and all this kind of, I don't even know how to word it. It feels kind of just real and grounded.
It does.
I don't know.
You see them scrambling and
they treat it like it would be an actual, like, this is how, you can see this in a modern military, kind of how they would scramble the jets and the fighters or whatever. It's just cool. I don't know. I liked it.
Obviously, they're stealing the money. Everything breaks down. Mr. Commandant Sir has a heart attack and dies.
Yep.
Gunfight breaks out. They're escaping. They get away. They have to like jumpstart Nemec's heart in a sense. They give him some crazy medication because he's obviously been like, I could feel it when he got hit. Honestly,
it's so random, which is why it's so tragic. Because here they are getting away, and it's like, oh, this random stupid thing happens, and Nemec gets killed.
Well,
basically,
if things would have gone to plan, they weren't going to take a cart with them. All of the money was being offloaded. Yeah. Their haste left that loaded cart on board.
Yes.
And then it gets sad. They leave. They manage to escape the planet. Vel wants to just leave Nemec and go straight to their meeting spot. Skeen calls her out and goes, you know what? Because Cassian needs coordinates. Where are we going? And Skeen goes, she doesn't want to... We have a doctor built in contingency, but she wants to go straight to the rendezvous point.
But the funny thing is, Skeen also has an ulterior motive here.
Skeen is the one who set that whole up. Skeen was like, I'll force us to go to this other place because this is where I have chance to make off with the money.
Yeah.
Skeen's like, hey, Cassian, 40-40. We each get 40 million. We're going to take the money and run because I can't fly that loader. You can.
But he knows he can't trust him.
No, he knows he can't trust him. No. He lied about having a brother, which was his reason for being here in the first place. So, yeah, I wouldn't trust him either. So Cassian did what he had to do.
It was kind of his only option.
It was, because he knew what would happen. If he didn't kill Skeen, Skeen would have killed the others and probably just eventually radio somebody to come and get him.
Well, Skeen, once he's exposed himself to Cassian knows now I can't trust him, and he's going to try to turn on me and say I was the one who had this crazy idea to split the money, and because if he says no, Skeen's probably just going to kill him.
Exactly.
And so he just kills him first, which was
smart.
Yeah,
and it's what he had to do.
Yeah.
It's a tough decision, but now he gets to look like the bad guy when he walks in on Vel and poor Nemec, who's passed away, and Dr. Quadpaw to be like, I'm taking my cut. I'm paying you for this ship out of my cut, and I'm leaving.
I think
he doesn't trust anymore.
I think because he does leave the money behind, she does believe him. Otherwise, why would you kill Skeen? There'd be no reason to kill Skeen otherwise. To just do it.
He took what he was owed, paid for the ship, gave back the Skykyber, took the manifesto, and he's on the run again.
Yeah. Not for long, though, we know.
No.
Spoilers. Then
we get to see the brief visions of the aftermath with the ISB scrambling.
Yep.
Because they know something is wrong and they have to figure this out. This is their job. We see Mon in the Senate speech fighting for the Gorman's rights because they're peaceful people. They're our allies and we're not treating them right. And everyone's distracted. Because my tablet got an urgent update.
Tablet, yeah. Datapad, but okay.
Yeah, that something horrible has happened on Aldhani. And then...
Horrible, depending on your point of view.
The very last scene, Luthen laughs.
Smiling
everything,
and laughing.
His big scheme, his big first blow, has succeeded. But the biggest question at the time when this episode came out was the debate of, did Cinta do it? Because we see her leave the base dressed up as an Imperial, but we don't know.
She killed the family.
I feel like she did. I feel like that's not a question, but they're leaving it a little ambiguous so that you can maybe say she didn't, but she did.
Yeah, they killed their family. She killed them.
She killed them.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
they could ID them.
Yeah,
they saw their
faces.
It's a loose end, and she's heartless enough to do it.
Yeah. On that note, that's all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of this 6th episode of Andor. Is it the best one thus far, but only to be replaced by better episodes? Whatever the case may be, leave your comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.